Well, folks, it's that time of year, winter. And with winter usually comes snow. And with snow usually comes ice. Ice can bring dangerous conditions when it comes to driving and walking from place to place. So what is the best and fastest way to get rid of the ice so that we will have safer conditions? With salt! You might ask, how is salt going to melt the ice? Well, salt melts ice because adding salt lowers the freezing point of water. When water freezes on the roads, there is usually a thin layer of water on top of the ice, and the ice molecules and water molecules are interacting. This water is constantly melting some of the ice, while the ice beneath it is freezing some of the water. At this temperature, the exchange rate is pretty constant, meaning the amount of water and the amount of ice stay the same. If it gets colder, more water becomes ice. If it gets warmer, more ice becomes water. So when the ionic compound salt is added, it lowers the freezing point of water, which means the ice on the ground can't freeze that layer of water at 32 degrees Fahrenheit anymore. The water can still melt the ice at this temperature, which results in less ice on the roads. Salt lowers the freezing point of water through the concept called freezing point depression.
Basically, the salt makes it harder for the water molecules to bond together in their rigid structure. In water, salt is a solute and it will break into its elements. Cities often use calcium chloride to melt the ice on the roads, which is more effective at melting ice because it can break down into 3 ions, 1 calcium and 2 chloride. The more ions mean the more ions getting in the way of those rigid ice bonds. This concept relates to the formation of sea ice. When sea ice forms near the poles during the winter months, the salt ions essentially stay behind in the liquid water. The liquid water beneath the ice and in surrounding areas becomes saltier as a result. As I mentioned earlier, salt hinders the freezing process and depresses the freezing point, which is one of the major reasons why oceans never totally freeze over near the poles. As water becomes saltier, the freezing point continues to decrease. This, when coupled with the fact that ice floats, helps keep cold polar ocean water below ice a liquid.
As you can see, salt plays a very important role in the safety of our roadways as well as our oceans. Without it, we would essentially be frozen.
So stay salty!